Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, the Giants cleaned up today. I mean, this day just can't be any better as far as what we set out to do than what we got done. First off, no Giants that we cut were claimed on waivers. You know what that means? David Sills, he can come back to the practice squad. David Moa, he can come to the practice squad. The Giants have already claimed, or not claimed, but signed Matt Cole, the standout special teams wide receiver, to the practice squad. All of these guys that we cut, everybody that we cut that you wanted back, any player that you wanted back, they're going to have a chance to be signed to the practice squad. And this year, because of COVID, and the same thing as last year, but this year we get to protect, I think, up to 6 of those players. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. It might be 3, but I know we can protect a certain amount of players from being claimed by other teams from our practice squad. So that's always a plus. David Sills, the David Sills army is still alive. But something else that I really wanted to get into was the fact that the Steelers made a huge mistake. Let's just call it like we see it. The Steelers made a huge mistake yesterday by cutting what I thought was an edge rushing standout player, Quincy Roche. They cut Roche. He was a 6th round pick. He was a guy that I had a 2nd to 3rd round grade, late second, early 3rd round grade on. And Quincy Roche fell to the 6th round, had a decent preseason, and now he's been cut from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And guess what? He hit waivers. The Giants claimed him. Another player I liked last year in last year's draft, Colin Johnson. Colin Johnson, the 6'6" receiver from Texas. You guys wanted another big body? Well, we got it. 6'6" wide receiver from Texas, Colin Johnson. I had a 5th round grade on him last year. I don't know where he ended up going, but he was that late round receiver that could always be that threat to go up in the red zone, catch those passes, and he's going to be even better than David Sills as far as height-wise, because he's not going to have to jump as high. The dude has freakishly long arms, and he has decent deep speed. He will be on this roster. I don't know what this means for Dante Pettis. I don't know what it means for John Ross. Maybe Ross goes to IR. Maybe he goes to the PUP list. But Colin Johnson has been claimed, which means he has to be on this roster. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that it's not John Ross that gets, IR'd or pupped. I'm hoping that the guy who ends up on the PUP list, or the guy who gets cut, is Dante Pettis. That's the guy who I think is pretty redundant with what we have, and he's not as good a player as the rest of the guys we have. Or maybe it's CJ Board, but I think he stays again for the special teams. And then another guy we claimed, Justin Hillard. He's someone who was one of those Ohio State linebackers. I think he came out last year. I can't remember if he came out last year or this year. Everything's gotten jumbled up. And I've had similar grades on most of these Ohio State linebackers. He actually got drafted this year, now that I see. And he was an undrafted guy, actually. Was a backup eventually for Fred Warner back in the day, 2 years ago. And now he was undrafted and he got released. And the Giants claimed him. He's a run and a hit guy, pretty much just standard Ohio State. Those guys at linebacker for Ohio State are usually really instinctive, and I like how they play the game there. So it'll be interesting to see what he can add to this linebacker room. I haven't done a ton of work, but I do have the tape on him, so I can do some work on him. I don't know if I'll do an actual film session on him, but I will have some work on him to get a better educated point of what he can provide for the Giants. But I really think that we got so much better as far as being able to claim some of these guys. Quincy Roche, again, is the biggest highlight of this. I really thought the guy was a 2nd to 3rd round prospect. He had a decent pass rushing preseason against he had a good pass rushing preseason in the games that he played. And for some reason, he was still cut. I don't know for what reason. But he's a Giant now. Colin Johnson, again, is that huge target who also played with Mike Glennon on the Jaguars last year. I think last year during the season, he caught a couple of highlight plays from Mike Glennon. So he's got a little bit of chemistry with him. But of course, for the Giants, he'd be playing with Daniel Jones. But I just can't be any more happier about what transpired today. Again, David Sills, not claimed. David Moa, not claimed. Who else did we cut that was... I can't think of who else we cut that was so important or we thought shouldn't have been cut. Corey Clement is a guy who's not going to hit waivers. He's a veteran. But I'm thinking of the guys that we cut. I think those were our two young players that we cut who we thought probably would get claimed, and we were just going to have to live with it. But now you can put David Sills on that practice squad. He can pretty much sit there another year. If we have a string of injuries, which it seems like now, right now, I would say this. Maybe Pettis ends up getting cut. But for right now, what it is you got Galladay, you got Slayton, you got Shepard, you got Tony, you got Ross, you got Pettis, you got CJ Board, you got Colin Johnson now, and now you got David Sills. So David Sills is probably our 8th or 9th wide receiver. We're not going to get into the debate of how actually good he is, if he's better than this guy, if he's better than that guy. Just by what the Giants have provided and the decision they made to cut him, seems like he's right now the 8th or 9th best receiver. So if a Pettis goes, I just don't see them putting Colin Johnson behind David Sills because they decided to claim him. So Colin Johnson is a guy who really isn't the best route runner. He's not a twitchy guy. He's just pretty much a long stride jump ball receiver. That's what he does best. And I think that he can immediately be a red zone target for us. Not like he's going to get in there and get snaps over guys who are better than him. But if he did end up being in there, he is a target at 6'6". And that's definitely something that I liked about him coming out of college. That's why I wanted him in the 5th or 6th round last year. But other things I expect us to do is I expect us to add some more offensive linemen. More specifically, I don't know if Tyrone Crosby has been claimed yet, but that's the guy I'm looking at. We need one more tackle in this building. It just has to happen. We need some more tackle depth because Nate Solder can't be our only backup tackle. And I think Tyrone Crosby will give us that tackle depth and give us some guard depth. But if the Giants just stopped right here, I definitely would be okay with how everything's going on. Also, I guess the only bad thing that happened today is the fact that Nate Abner was seen visiting a facility. I think it was today or yesterday. And it's just like, come on, man. Are you serious? Nate Abner, of course, is the personal protector for the punter. And Joe Judge has his love affair with him to where he just can do no wrong. He just gave him this entire summer off. He didn't have to work for his spot. And it seems like Nate Abner will be signing with the Giants soon. The good news is it looks like Cullen Gillespie is probably your backup personal protector. And when we sign Nate Abner, which it seems like we're just going to do regardless, Cullen Gillespie probably will lose his job. Which, I mean, I'm not rooting for anybody to lose their job, but that's the reason we were keeping two fullbacks, because one of them was the personal protector. Nate Abner should be back here soon. And then actually, as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing the Giants have decided to sign Brett Heggie to the practice squad, which is another guy that I thought that we would bring back. Nico Lalos is on the practice squad. Again, I'm guessing that Heggie will be a guy that we protect. He had a decent preseason to me, but we're making moves. Another thing I just saw right now is that Tyrone Crosby, someone I just talked about, or Tyrone Crosby, it seems like since he wasn't claimed on waivers, seems like he's reverting to IR, so he won't be available for anybody to pick up. But he was definitely someone I was targeting. So he's gone to IR. Obviously means he's probably not ready to play this season for whatever team, and that's probably why I didn't get picked up. But that would have been a great move. Other guys I'm looking at tackle, not sure yet, but I have trust that the Giants will attack that spot within the next week and a half to try to shore up at least the backup tackle position, because we have a lot of problems at starting right tackle. But I just wanted to share this news with you. I think we made some good moves today, and should be some more fun coming soon. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.